In the heart of the old land, before the white man's calendar ever counted a day, there was a village called Aboduyuk, a small place hidden between 3 mountains and a river that never ran dry. The people there feared the gods and worshipped the spirits of the forest, for they believed that death was not the end, but only a door to another side. But that door was never meant to be forced open. Among the people of Aboduyuk lived a hunter named Adu. Adu was strong, proud, and fearless. Too fearless. He hunted where no man dared to go. He mocked the warnings of the elders and laughed at the stories told by the old women by the fire. They said the forest beyond the Black River was cursed. They said no drum should beat there, and no man should whistle after dusk. But Adu, he went there anyway. One evening, when the sky was bruised with the color of blood, Adu crossed the river alone. He said he would bring back the biggest antelope ever seen. But the forest was silent that night. No bird sang. No leaf moved. Even the moon hid behind the clouds, as if afraid to see what was about to happen. They found Adu's body 3 days later, deep inside the forbidden part of the forest. His eyes were open, wide, as if staring at something unspeakable. His mouth was frozen in a scream, but no sound had escaped. The elder said, "Do not bring him home. He crossed the sacred line. Let the forest take him." But his mother wailed, and his brothers defied the warning. They carried him back to the village and buried him beside his father's grave. That was his greatest mistake. The night after the burial, the dogs began to bark at nothing. The air turned cold, and a strange smell, like rotten leaves and burnt hair, crept through the village. At midnight, Adu's mother heard someone calling her name from outside her hut. The voice was soft, familiar. It said, "Mama." She rose, trembling, and stepped out into the dark. There was no one there, only the sound of wind in the trees, and a shadow, a human shadow, moving across the compound wall. She called his name once, twice, but the voice that answered was not Adu's. It laughed, a long, broken laugh that came from everywhere and nowhere. By the next morning, Adu's mother was found dead, her eyes open, staring into the empty sky, her face twisted in terror. The elders whispered, "It has begun." That night, every drum in the village cracked. The sound of footsteps echoed through empty paths, and those who dared to stay awake said they heard a knock on their doors. When they asked, "Who is there?" the voice replied, "You buried me where I should not rest." By the 3rd night, the river ran black. Cattle refused to drink. The children screamed in their sleep, and the priest of the land declared that the spirit of Adu had returned, not as man, not as ghost, but as something else, something that hungered. They said if you walked alone after sunset, you would hear his footsteps behind you, and if you turned to look, you would never be seen again. The people of Aboduyuk stopped going out at night. They stopped speaking his name. But one boy, Adu's younger brother, refused to believe. He said, "Spirits do not walk. My brother is gone." So one night, he went to the grave with a lantern in his hand to prove it. He stood before the mound of earth and whispered, "Brother, if you are here, let me see you." And the ground moved. Slowly. Softly. Like something breathing under the soil. Then came a sound. A crack. Like bones breaking. The lantern fell. The flame went out. And the darkness came alive. The next morning, they found only the boy's lantern, still burning beside an open grave. And from that night on, every door in Aboduyuk stayed closed before sunset. Because once darkness touched the village, you could hear it again. That same voice. Lo, come, and close. You buried me where I should not rest.